But what exactly do we mean by resilience? And how is this word, for some years ubiquitous in the positive narratives from humanitarian organisations, interpreted in the British Council's programmes in language for resilience? Anne Marston, the American psychologist and scholar, has written a lot on trauma, and she stresses the connection between resilience and positive responses to adversity. The UNDP stresses the core of their understanding of resilience is of enabling systemic change within nations to transform immediate humanitarian relief into long-term developmental support programs. Both these interpretations are relevant to the British Council's underlying goals in programs we run. But we have taken the words from the United Nations Regional Refugee Resilience Plan of 2015-16 to underscore what we do in our programs. And that is the ability of individuals, households, communities, and institutions to anticipate, withstand, recover, and transform from shocks and crises. Resilience is generally seen to operate at three different but interconnected levels: the individual level, the community level, and the institutional level. There is, of course, something of a chain reaction in these three levels, with any one of them helping to strengthen the other two. So, what are the different aspects or components of resilience? What do you need to be resilient? Or what can help build individual resilience? As I'm an English teacher, I was tempted to involve you a bit in this part, but I'll let you off, I think. So, things that, of course, there are many components, and I'm sure you can think of others. I'd just like you to think of some while I put up a few that a number of us thought of. They're not everything, of course. So a sense of hope, somehow involving social competence and interaction with different groups. Meaningful engagement and purpose. And I think the stress there is on the meaningful. A sense of belonging to a community. I think actually we could say to communities. And a very essential thing that the research that we will look at later has picked up on is having a voice, a sense of achievement, just as people would want when they're in their home communities. So, Regional Refugee Resilience Plan, the Regional Refugee Resilience Plan sees language as crucial because it gives vulnerable people and communities a voice for access. It acts as a protective factor in adding to resourcefulness in times of adversity. And it can promote social cohesion and intercultural understanding by encouraging communication. So the acquisition or even successful retention of language, by that I mean keeping the language from home, can build resilience. Language is a key factor in the education of mobile populations and refugees and can offer protection or it can enhance vulnerability. It is therefore both an enabler and or a barrier to resilience. Language can be a positive enabler by being the means to enhance cultural understanding and social cohesion, as well as helping to provide a sense of identity and helping people remember and know who they are. The possession of appropriate languages enables people to express what they need and what they feel, and it can help them to succeed and thrive educationally. It can also enable access to the job market, which helps strengthen host communities as well, and providing readiness for rebuilding home economies when refugees return. However, a lack of appropriate languages excludes people from the areas just mentioned, and the sense of marginalization can result in community conflict, both within migrant communities and between the host and migrant communities. Lack of appropriate languages can also cause a generally undesired dependence on others and on host structures, resulting in refugees having things done to them, or in the long term, depriving them of individual agency. I think the former British Council Director to Syria, Joe Bubbers, who actually visited Argentina some time ago, expressed really well what language for resilience really is on the individual level. What does it mean to people? When he said, and I will unusually read this one because I think some of you might have difficulty with it. Language for resilience is about giving people the resources they need to have the agency and belief that they can take the lead in addressing the problems in their lives. Take the lead. That's where language and literacy comes in. It could be the child in Lebanon who dropped out of school because she didn't speak the language of the classroom. It could be the teacher struggling to manage and motivate students who all have different mother tongues. It could be the young person who dreamed of becoming a doctor but lost proof of their education on the journey from Syria, and now they need to start again with an online language course in order to access university. It could be the activist who wants to make change in their community but can't express it in the way they want to local or international stakeholders. Or it could be the mother who doesn't have the language skills to help her children catch up after school, or to explain to the doctors what's wrong. In all these countries, English language is in high demand, often as a gatekeeper to education and livelihoods.